I'm Ed Grondelski, Chair of the Town Council. We'll call the meeting to order. Roll call. Councilors are present. Ula and Jonathan are on video. Or supposed to be. Okay, they are. Okay. Citizens' statements and petitions. Any citizens' comments? Any citizens' comments? Did we get any citizens' comments? Any citizens? Okay, you want to speak, citizen?
No, I wanted to come up.
Okay, move on. New business. Proposal fiscal year 2026-2027 education budget. Discussion and possible decisions on revisions to the budget for reconvened annual town meeting. I would like a motion.
I'll make that motion.
We need a dollar amount to change the budget.
Well, before that, I mean, my question.
That's okay, we can,
I kind of want to, maybe I'm order here, but, you know, there was talk about the state was going to bring more money to the table this year, and there was one page out of the annual meeting that showed that we were going to reduce the mill rate based on that, but it wasn't technically in writing yet. If we did that, would that just change our mill rate without even cutting their budget further?
well, that's what, when the money came in, we're gonna set the mill rate after the budget gets approved. And once, well, again, let Brian.
Yeah,
go.
so if you look at the, this one cheater here.
Yep.
Town of Killingly, we revised what the mill rate impact would be, recognizing the new revenues without any further cuts. So recognizing the money that the state appropriated for the Board of Education and the money that the state provided for the municipal side, it would bring the total mill rate down to 0.46 with the budget increase as it was proposed.
So if we left essentially what we allotted at the first meeting, now with the reflected new revenues, we could say that we're going to use that total increase of a mill rate of 0.46 then.
Yeah, that's an option, if you want to leave the education budget unchanged and represent that at the reconvened town meeting, and at the vote, that would be the revised mill rate impact.
Okay, so
Recognizing
what's that number that I'd have to say out loud to basically make that motion? No?
Yeah, what's the, so we could fill, if he wants to do that, what would be the number we need to fill in the blank there on the 70?
If you were to leave it unchanged, the Board of Education budget would be 49,940,676.
49.
Where do you see that?
940,676.
I don't think it's reflected.
Oh, it's not reflected on here?
I don't think so.
What you're talking about is on the revenue side.
Okay.
We have to set the expenditure side of the budget. The revenue side basically lowers the mill rate impact,
Yep.
which is what is reflected.
Right, so I guess if we wanted to move the resolution, right, and fill in the blanks to reflect the 24 million total, 24,610,315 for general government, and blank, what's the number for the blank expense on the education side?
49,940,676.
Okay, so that's.
But that
that's
was the
right
number that was voted on in the referendum,
Right. Yeah, so he's just suggesting that they represent it.
right?
Yeah.
Represent it
But
based
there's
on-
no change to that number. The changes that the state made is just basically alleviates the mill rate pressure.
Right.
But the
that's what I'm-
spending is the same.
Right,
Yeah.
but I don't, maybe this is just my opinion, but I feel like at that meeting, there was made many comments that it was not in writing or was not guaranteed that the mill rate was gonna go to 0.46. It was still being presented at the time that as of right now, it's 0.96 or 98. This would be saying that, okay, we recognize the extra money coming in, and we're projecting the mill rate based on this budget of 49,400,000 940 and
676.
606, that now the mill rate would be 0.46, so almost half of what it was originally projected.
But for clarification, but when can we say that? When can we say that we're getting that?
It's no different than any other state revenue that comes to us, an estimate way back when we start this process in
Okay.
January. Adding these revenues in is no different than that process that we're already doing.
So what,
So and you still separately set the mill rate after the
right, we
budget
set
passes.
tonight we gotta set,
So it's an
set the
estimated.
expenses.
Right.
That's what we're talking about, the expenses, and whatever we get in. So, from what you're saying, if we kept the dollar amount at the Board of Ed the same and acknowledge that we're gonna look at, reflect the revenue in the mill rate,
Right.
then the mill rate would go down. Or
Right.
I mean, you could use the same dollar amount that was presented at the referendum.
And I think that that's pretty, overall, because I think as a council, like, I know wanted it higher, but the 0.98 is what we wanted, and we're presenting basically the town with half of that. So, and to me, that's pretty reasonable. We're going with half of what we initially thought we were gonna be asking for a mill rate increase if we go with 0.46. I think that's pretty reasonable overall.
You know, because it was very late in the game when we got that. That's kind of a,
Yeah, and there was, to be fair, there was also discussion at CCM and the legislature about whether that money could be used to reduce the mill rate when the legislation was passed. So that was an open question at the time.
well, we gotta go back. I got a motion from Adam. I need a second.
I'll
We never-
second.
Okay, now with this discussion, I'm missing something a little bit here, jumping the gun. Any further discussion? Jonathan, Mula, any comments?
Hi, Ed. Ed, I think putting the same exact expenses out is sort of an insult to those who voted. It did fail due to an expense number, not to a mill rate. Taxpayers don't vote on the mill rate, so I think that the number should be small, even if it is something quite small, like the equivalent of 0.05 or 0.1 mils. That's just my opinion.
I think I'd have to go along with that. The vote was on the expenses, so I think we have to reduce the amount. But I'd like to keep it to a minimal amount.
So that
Tony?
number to go to 0.45, Jennifer, what does that make the BOE number? What does that become?
So the money that came in from the state for the Board of Ed and for the town, we don't have to vote to accept that? That's what we used to, so.
No, you don't have to vote to accept it. You do have to vote to set the mill rate after the budget passes.
We're sort of accepting it. It would
So-
go into our general fund.
The reason that, the reason that I'm distinguishing that is because if the budget had passed as you presented it, and then when you set the mill rate, you could have decided to just leave the mill rate at what you presented at town meeting, right? So if the budget had passed and we weren't sitting here and you presented a 0.98 mill rate increase, when it came time to have the discussion on setting the mill rate, you could decide to leave the mill rate at what you presented at town meeting and just receive that additional revenue in addition to the tax increase.
Does that revenue, how would it get out, how does it get allocated? How would it have
It would
got
get
out?
allocated the way the legislature voted it.
Would it?
So it was
Okay.
800, I think it was like 800 something to Ed, and
Okay.
maybe I've got that wrong, maybe it was 600 and 300, something like that.
To reduce the mill rate to 0.45, you would have to reduce the spending by $18,341. So that would bring the total to, that would bring the proposed Board of Education budget to $49,922,335.
Would you repeat that, New number?
49,932.
49,922,335.
Go ahead.
All right, then I'll remove my previous motion and make a new motion saying that we adjust the expenditure for Board of Ed to 49,922,3355.
335.
Yeah.
Three,
And,
three.
and that'll reflect a 0.45 mill rate increase?
That's correct.
Thank you. I'll second.
Do you want the total of the total budget as well?
Please.
We're gonna have to, well, we're just, on this
Or do
point,
you want to just focus on the education right now?
I think we're gonna focus on the education, because that's what we, yeah, the other one is already passed.
Yep.
So I don't wanna cloudy
Yeah,
it.
I can read for the record the total after.
So you wanted to? Tammy? you wanna-
So just by reducing it 18,000, brought it to a .45 mill rate reduction?
Yes.
No, we're going to
No, it's a .01
One.
Yes.
mill rate reduction.
0.01, so it's 0.45 instead of 0.46.
Right, using those allocated funds, that would be turning them into that, right?
Is that okay, Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, it's a nod to those who voted no.
Yes.
It didn't fail by many votes. While I'd like to see the number a little more, I can live with it. I'll vote yes for sure.
I missed the beginning of.
Ula,
'cause
yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
In the tunnel. I missed the beginning of that because I'm in the tunnel, so I don't know what the decrease in the budget is that you were talking about.
They reduced the education budget by $18,341 to reflect a 0.01 mill rate decrease to make the mill rate from 0.46 to 0.45.
So they decreased it by 18,000.
$18,341.
I would actually like to see that a bigger increase than that. That's not something that I would like to go with.
Any further discussion?
Can you hold roll call?
Okay, so, one last time, let's get the final dollar amount that we're gonna put in the blank.
For the Board of Education budget, the total would be $49,922,335.
And the general government is at 27,639,208.
The
Yep.
general government budget is $24,610,315.
315, okay.
So we need to put all those numbers in this get the,
Yeah, we can type them in and have you sign it after the vote. We'll print
I
a
can do it,
fresh one.
yeah.
okay. So for this vote, we're looking at modifying the Board of Education budget to $49,922,335. We'll have a roll call vote.
Counselor Adams,
I vote yes.
Counselor Giambattista,
Yes.
Counselor Wakefield,
Yes.
Counselor Catula,
No.
Counselor Griffiths,
Yes.
Counselor Barclay,
No.
Counselor Cessalini.
I changed my mind, no.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
motion fails.
We need 6
Need one more
affirmative
vote.
votes.
Yep.
No, this is not the Acela.
Well, since I was one that voted no for
Okay,
that.
well, yeah,
I-
any recommendations?
I would like to reduce it at the 100,000. If we're gonna give them that money from the legislation of 600+ thousand, they're still gonna be ahead of the game. Maybe as cruel as that sounds, but,
I'd like to see a greater cut than that to decrease the MBR
MBR.
because of the extra money from the state.
Well, the extra money from the state is factored in here already.
But that's not decreasing the MBR.
No. So with the money, reflecting the money from the state, the mill rate before you cut anything would be estimated at 0.46.
The $100,000 cut is, what would that drop us? I mean, I mean, even going down to like a 0.4,
It's gonna get you below 4, it's gonna be 3 down. I believe it's gonna be around 3.9. We'll see.
So I'm looking at the nearly 500,000 in the, what is it called, their, asks, what is it called, Tammy, their,
the decision packages.
decision packages, which were all approved, only a few of them were later, denied. Those are all extras that they don't need, and a lot of the, things in those decision packages, after I spoke to parents, are things that they're paying for, but they were put in decision packages, so it looks like they're inflating the budget because of that.
20% of that is the football team, isn't that decision package?
The decision packages, I don't know exactly what the decision package for the football team is, but it's not things that they use on a yearly basis, it's extras that they are asking for. That's what the decision packages is.
Yes, you actually went off on and read all those out loud, and I was writing down notes, and 100,000 of that was the football team alone. So,
No, that was not a decision package. That was the transportation.
No, well, it might have been, but that is actual line item, that's not a decision package. The high school sports transportation is just over 100,000.
Ed,
Yes.
did Counselor Kotula make a motion to reduce the budget that failed at referendum by $100,000?
That's what he's done.
I didn't make, I suggested that, but I guess I
Oh,
didn't
we
make
can get to the motion, Paul?
I'll make a motion to reduce the Board of Education budget by $100,000.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Further discussion?
That reduction reduces the budget to a 0.41 mill rate.
And the number for BOE?
49,840,606, sorry, excuse me, $676.
Is there any further discussion?
I'd still like to it'd be a greater increase than 100,000. Like I said, we're looking at 500,000 for the decision packages that all were approved, and only a few of them were then, not approved when the budget was, the increase was decreased. not taking into account the extra money from the state, because that is extra. I'm looking at unnecessary costs that are built into that budget.
Is there any other further discussion?
And I'd just like to say, I keep hearing that we're getting extra money from the state, and that's extra. That's not how things work. We're voting on a bottom line expense amount. If the state's giving us income, it simply reduces what we have to raise by taxes. It's not an increase on any budget.
That's what I'm.
That's right.
I don't
Folks
want
are not
don't want
understanding
to
that fact. It's simply a different source of revenue for a budget that has a bottom line, and we're voting on the bottom line.
That's right, we're
people
voting on
may
the
be
expense,
confused about
on the
that.
expense side. If the state decides to change their amount, then we have to adjust the mill rate with respect to that. But we are.
That's correct.
We
It
are
doesn't
voting
change how much
on
the school
an
is spending
expenses.
next year.
Exactly, that's why I'm saying I would like greater than a $100,000 decrease, because we're still looking at $500,000 that was given for decision packages that were unnecessary.
And that's understandable, but saying we're getting extra money from the state and that raises the budget or it allows the Board of Ed to spend more, that's just not true.
No, it's not, because we're looking at the spending, we're discussing the spending amount. And whatever the state gives us, we cannot increase the spending amount, whatever what we're doing tonight is discussing the amount that's going to be spent in their budget. And if the state, whatever the state gives or takes, that's a sort of a different avenue, and we address that when we're going to discuss the mill rate.
Well, I just said, I think with the decrease needs to be more than $100,000 because of all of, like I said, for the, I don't know, the third time that the $500,000 in decision packages were all approved, except a couple of them were taken back. That is extra spending that we shouldn't be paying.
Kevin, you have a motion on the floor. Do you have a second yet?
Yeah, Jonathan, yeah, we got a second. Any further discussion?
No? Can we move the question?
All in favor of moving the question? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So, we're gonna vote on 49,840,676. Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Adams,
Yes.
Counselor Giambattista,
Yes.
Counselor Wakefield,
Yes.
Counselor Catula,
Yes.
Counselor Griffiths,
No.
Counselor Barclay, Counselor Barclay, come back to that. Counselor Cessalini,
Yes.
Counselor Barclay, Counselor Barclay, we're calling for your vote on the motion. I don't know if you are in
Or,
the tunnel.
are you available? Let's give her a little. I don't want to exclude her from, you know, she's traveling, so I want to be fair that she wants to have her voice heard. I will.
Counselor Barclay,
I said no.
okay, got it.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
that's 6 votes,
6 votes.
motion passes.
Motion passes. Yep.
Could I request the completed both sets?
Yep.
So the general government budget is $24,610,315. allocated to education is 49,840,676, for a total budget of $74,450,991.
Executive session, none.
I'll make a
I'll take a
motion to
motion to
adjourn.
adjourn. Kevin, got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
We are adjourned.